All right, what's up, you guys? Welcome back to Unmuted, where we say the things that people only think. Go ahead, subscribe, like, and comment if you guys like that type of things. Let's get right into it. All right, what's up, fellas? So we're gonna get into our topic. I asked y'all what's up, man. I just went into it.
Hey, what's going on with yo, what's good?
Nah, it's not important. Let's get into this.
Right, you're good.
All right. So let's get into it. First up is the movie Sinners. We've all had our chance to be able to watch it. And if you're watching this and you haven't seen it yet, there's going to be spoilers, of course, right? So for context, this is the fifth movie directed by Ryan Coogler and starring Michaelbjordan. Michael B. Jordan plays a dual role of twins Stack and Smoke in the early 1930s that blends Southern horror, race, and blues into one powerful story. Sinners grossed approximately $236.7 million worldwide, making it one of the top performing original films of the year. So you guys, what did you like about the film and what stuck out to you guys the most?
Man, to be honest, I thought it was an amazing film. I wanted to go watch it twice, but I only saw it once. But I mean, what kind of stood up to me a lot is Sammy when he was playing the blues and how it kind of summoned the spirits from the past, and which also brought Remick to the juke joint, which is the main character vampire. Just the scene when Sammy starts playing, it just pretty much just shows how meaningful and powerful the music is. Pretty much like breaking down barriers that kind of connected the black souls throughout time. They had a little bit of blues in there, they had the jazz, and they had a little bit of rock. And then just the different scenes that was playing in it. They had people playing the piano, they had the African tribe playing the drums. They even had some modern day twerking in there. I saw two guys doing the crip walk.
Yeah.
I saw some Chinese dances in there.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of everything. And pretty much just, the symphonies of different sounds from different genres, kind of pulling all those spirits together. I just felt that was a really cool scene. Pretty much almost like that juke joint was a 100% safe place for everyone where they can kind of be their self without any judgment. I feel like that brought, all those different spirits out and stuff like that. Pretty much just, staying true to one's identity. I feel like that was kind of a big part of the movie, just, staying true to one's identity. I just loved how all that scene came together and they burnt the roof down and, you see, the vampires kind of just amazed by the music and and all that good stuff. So yeah, that was a really good part for me. I want to watch that like 3 times over again. But yeah, that.
For sure. What you got, Shawan?
Well, repeat the question. I just want to make sure I answer it right. I think it was a two-part question.
Yeah, it is. So what did you like about the film and what stuck with you the most?
All right, so what I liked about the film itself was the music. Like, the music is what I like. Like, even from Remick's music, the Irish music, like how everybody was getting down to that. Like, the music from start to finish, from when you seen Sammy. I can hear me? We good? It lagged a little bit.
I can hear you now, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, you're good.
Like when Sammy was he was in the car and he played his guitar for the first time. And when he was singing, I'm like, yo, I never heard a voice like this. This is something new, it's different. And I think the blues was something like, what black people started. And I think from blues made all the other music. And I think that goes to Brandon's point about having all the ancestors from the past and the future getting together with all their music and stuff. And it's like, I think the blues was like the core, the centerpiece to all that. And which brought all that together, which made all the music like, yeah. So for Remick to be like, even Remick noticed it. Like, nah, this dude bringing past ancestors, current, you know what I mean? Like future. Yeah. I need to get back to my family too. So I need you to bring that with those tunes. But what stuck to me the most was it was the end where he said just for a few hours we was free. And I mean that hit home because that's something I want. But we talk about that another time. But it was like as I was watching the movie, they were never free. It was always a prisoner to something. But those few hours, they was free. And I'm like, yo, is freedom even real if you can only have it for a few hours?
Yeah.
Is it a real thing?
No, that's real.
But yeah, I mean that's what I got from it. So just answer your question.
Yeah, yeah. No, no worries. So for me, what I liked about the film, so you guys know, I don't know if you guys know, but I do videography, right? So I look at all the things that happen in video. Not that deep. I ain't trying to like nerd out about it. But one thing that was pretty cool was Michael B. Jordan playing both of his roles, right? And he was saying that not only when he was playing his roles that he had to, of course, act as two people, but they had to invent technology to actually make it so he can play both roles. And he had to be like almost so precise that there was like a minimal margin of error when he was playing these roles, right? And one thing I really liked is how he was able to portray, of course, both of the roles and still keep them as their own individual pieces, right?
Yeah.
So like if you guys realize Stack is he's more energetic, happy go lucky. Basically, we're gonna run and do whatever we need to do and we'll figure out the plan later.
Yeah.
Right. Smoke was like, nah, I'm all business. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure that this is what it is and this is what it looks like, whatever, what have you. But if you ever notice too in the film, Smoke never smiles. He never smiles one time. You know what I'm saying? So that just shows how serious he is and how calm, cool, and collected he is when it comes down to all these things. He's all about business. Right. So that's one thing that I liked. I love that, the way he was able to play those. And the thing that stuck out to me most about the film was, I mean, it was a multitude of things, of course, when it comes to the music and it comes to all of the um, religious aspects behind the movie and things like that. But definitely the music, as far as how not only with the blues, how it started all types of music and it transcends forward and backwards, but also how we listen to music these days and in the same vein, right? So like we listen to music and we might be listening to it in the moment, but that's going to change what we do in the future or how we perceive things that happened to us in the past, a wrongdoing that happened to us or anything, right? So it was really, really deep. But even in the movie, you could tell that if you're somebody who just watched it surface level, it was meant for you. And if you were somebody who actually wanted to deep dive and look at everything that was deep and all the hidden
Mm.
meanings and stuff like that, it was also meant for you, right? It was something for everybody. You wouldn't go in there and watch and be like, oh, it was a whack movie because I couldn't understand, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that was pretty big. That was pretty big for me. So yeah, that's what I got for it.
It's it's crazy because Shawan told me that there was a scene after the credits, and when
Yeah,
I
I
went
left.
to go, I left too. So
Yeah, yeah.
Shawan had to kind of give me updated on what was going on, and I kind
Yeah.
of wanted you to touch on that because I was blown away. I was like, what do you mean? Sammy was old? Like what kind of scene was this? Like
You left.
Yeah, he didn't see
You
the
left.
cutscenes.
He didn't see. There's two cutscenes.
Two of them.
Yeah, yeah. So you didn't see the initial one.
yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
wilding.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm wilding. Yeah, that's why
Wilding.
you didn't see it
So
again.
what kind of happens there is like Smoke. I mean Stack. My bad. Stack comes back, and Sammy's just like, how? He was like, I was the only person he couldn't kill. He's talking about his brother Smoke, and he was like, just let him live his life out. Like he had to make that promise. So that's kind of how it went. And and when he said that part, he was like, that was the last time I seen my brother. That was the last time I seen the son. Cass was talking about that being related to, what the parallel universes, because he also did Ryan Coogler. That's his name, right? He also did Black Panther, I believe. And that's part where the sun was setting. Michael B. Jordan's character was dying in that scene, and that was the last time he got to be with Chadwick Boseman. And that, so they kind of like lined up like that.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like, I mean, that's for other people who see it through that lens that you was talking about. Like you have those set of people who watched it and then they saw this with the film.
Man.
Yeah, I was on the
So I
phone and
got
I
a.
was telling them, my bad. I was just telling them
Right,
like,
right.
yo, everybody in that theater that you watched it with, every single person seen a different movie.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
Every
yeah.
single person
There's
seen a different movie.
there's so many ways you can like perceive that movie. So my other question to you guys, even with that, right, with the movie, is there any part in the movie that kind of made you mad or you were like, what is going on here or anything like that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, like at the end where like the vampires and all that stuff, and then the sun comes out and everybody dies. Like, dang! I was like, dang! I thought it was gonna be like a kind of a different spin on how they wanted to kill off all the vampires, and I was just kind of like, oh, dang. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. The sun comes out, everybody dies. Like, all right, cool. So I thought there was gonna be like something different with that, but that's the only thing I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah, what you got, Shawan?
Mm, so like the movie had like so many smooth parts, but the part where Mary's outside with Remick and all them, and she pull out the knocks, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yo, go back to where y'all came from. The only part that was like, nah, this ain't it, is when obviously she turned her back to him with the knocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
She seen the eyes, you know what I'm saying, and she just turned her back like it was. I think that was the only part that was like, damn, like. But it's like, what else do you do in that scene?
Yeah, because it was just her out there. I would have.
Yeah,
Man, I don't know. I would have been backing up, but we already knew. We already knew as the
yeah,
audience,
yeah.
like, yo,
It's
they
like, all right,
you
she
know what I'm
turns her
saying?
back, and then it's like, but the transition scene was amazing. It was just
Yeah,
that turning her back was like, nah, this ain't it.
yeah, that
Yeah.
was crazy. Let me look. Watching the movie, the part that had me like, yo, what is going on? That Asian lady, you remember? She was tripping out, right? Because she was tripping out because her husband was out there and he was trying to entice her to come out. And she's like, you're not my husband, right? So she upset about that. Then she gonna tell, look, they had a whole party. Everybody was in that joint. Everybody went home. Everybody got turned, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like 6 or 7 of us, and they all dancing around the juke joint. And you gonna tell them all to come in, right? And not only you gonna tell them all to come in, you gonna kill one person out of all the vampires. You told them all to come, bro. I was angry at her. I'm like, not only did you only kill one vampire, you also killed yourself.
Yeah.
So now
You're
we got to
one.
deal with the whole party. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It was you.
it was like 50 to
You
100
did nothing.
people. Yeah, he did nothing.
You could have went
Just to go kill,
outside,
man. I would have pushed her outside so clean, bro. Yeah,
bro.
that part,
So the
man.
thing about that part is, it's like the thing about they knew what they was there for.
Yeah,
They knew who they wanted, and it clearly they weren't going nowhere until they got him.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
So you know all this information, and he telling you, "All right, we about to go get your daughter." You know he's not about to get your daughter. You know what he's here for. Why
He's-
would you do this?
They would have been got him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Him.
They would have
Man.
been back. So why would they leave here? The sun's about to set. Oh, we're just gonna come back another day. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like I can't go nowhere. I gotta try to find this dude as a vampire across the man. No,
Man, no,
Yeah.
man. That was
lady,
crazy.
what are
And
you
then,
doing?
the other part too, dang, what's the guy's name who was playing the guitar?
Sammy.
Sammy.
Sammy, he with the singer, the one who was married, she came in there and you know he was getting busy, right?
Getting busy.
And she was like, hold on, wait. She's like, hold on, wait, I walked here. He said, I just want to taste you, right? Hold that thought. Then he did his business. They go and they're trying to make sure that everybody's protected from the vampires out there to eat garlic.
Yeah.
She gonna act crazy as if she don't want that taste in her mouth. I'm like, Sammy just put his whole tongue on the line for you. He just put his whole tongue
Oh,
on
you
the
know
line for
garlic?
you, and all you gotta do is eat garlic after you don't
No,
walk
fact.
there. Come on, man. Sammy done
it
put
could
his
be
whole
worse.
tongue on the line. Like, yo,
Nah.
the audacity of that.
Nah, but
Sammy.
Smoke was
Yeah.
not playing. Nah, eat the garlic. I'm not playing with that. He was like, damn, let's take a
Well,
serious.
yeah, she would have. Y'all wouldn't have had to ask me. She would have blah blah blah. She's done.
Quick,
All right,
done.
on to the next. Yeah, we
Right.
ain't got time. Like,
The way he emptied the clip in Mary,
oh,
I'd have been like, "Yo, this brother's not playing. Eat the garlic."
we,
We all seen that.
yeah, we, and
Not
she
playing.
jumped up, said we're gonna kill all of y'all, and ran out giggling.
Oh, yeah.
You better eat this garlic. Yeah, that was a couple. And the last one, and it's not really a big one, but the last one I had was at the end of the movie when Smoke is taking out the Klans members by himself, right? I don't know if you guys remember the scene where the camera was like inside the truck of the Klans members and they were shooting at him and he threw a
Yeah.
grenade into the Well, he point blank range and they was missing. I said, what kind of hero movie is this, man?
He
But
gets
it was
hit
Hey,
good.
listen, no
once.
matter.
Huh?
He got hit once.
He should have been hitting the head with that shot for sure. The guy was right there. I don't know. I just, whatever. I guess adrenaline was high, but besides that, that's just me nitpicking. That was just funny parts of the movie, though.
Nah, it was a good movie though, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely want to go see it again. I'd watch it 2, 3 more times for sure, just like you said, Brandon. So, um,
I would like to see it a third time in the IMAX.
yeah, for sure.
IMAX would be
Yeah,
nice.
in IMAX, because that's what it was originally meant to be viewed in, right? So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm
yeah, I
tempted to
definitely
fly somewhere and watch it in IMAX.
fly somewhere and watch it in IMAX. Why?
Yeah, they only showing it in like 7 states, I think.
Oh, we don't have an IMAX around here that's showing it.
No, we already missed our window for that. What I'm saying is the next time it
Oh,
drops in IMAX, it's gonna be only like in 7 spots.
okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I
It's
thought
super
you could just
limited
go.
because that
Yeah.
the Thunderbolt movie that came out, they're in IMAX now. It's like their turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wish I could have
Yeah.
seen it in IMAX.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
even
right.
know. I just knew it was in the movies. So yeah, you gotta check that out. So yeah, all right. Y'all ready to move on to the next? All right.
Yeah,
So
so
next thing we got is you said what, B?
yeah, I'm saying let's get it.
Oh no, you good. All right. All right. So everybody knows that Mother's Day is right upon us. So question we got here is, should a father give his child's mother a Mother's Day gift if she's not, or excuse me, if she's in another relationship? Even if the romantic ties are gone, she's still the mother of his child, and that role doesn't fade. But does acknowledging her with a gift feel respectful, confusing, or unnecessary when another man or woman is now in the picture? What's the line between co-parenting and crossing boundaries? Shawan, what you got?
Holy smokes! Let me tell you something, brother. The way you deliver these questions, expertise, brother. You 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 doing it. You doing it. You gotta really have a voice for it, and I think you got it, kid. You got spunk, man. You got spunk, kid. I like it. I like it. But yeah, so to get back to that, this was a really good topic that I'm very interested in. Only because I am a father in the position of this, whereas I feel like it could very well be disrespectful. It could very well be boundary crossing, and that's like something you would do like beforehand. Like, hey, is it okay if I, give you a card, send you some flowers? It's just, showing some appreciation of, even though we're not together, you're still a mother and deserve a gift of Mother's Day. It's not a romantic tie. But I can also see it's like, hey man, like if you're in a relationship and they do that, especially without conversation, if there's no conversation about it, it's like, hey man, you crossing the line here, like what's going on here, yada yada yada. So like this topic, I can kind of see like both sides of the coin here. I'm more so on the side of, if you communicate and you talk to, you got to talk to your partner anyway, regardless if you're together or not. Is your partner having like the child as your mission, right? So this is your partner for life, whether you're together or not. This is your partner because you're tied together by your child, who you both have to raise regardless. So if they're in another relationship, it's just, I think it's just a simple conversation you can have to see it like, yo, is it okay? Or, stuff like that.
Yeah. So what I got is, I would say, just to answer the question flatly, I would just say yes and no, right? Um, I would just say based on the intention and the communication behind it. So of course the intent of the gift. So if you're giving something that wouldn't come from a child, like jewelry or lingerie or like something like that, that's one of those situations where it'll be like a confusing type gift, because that's not coming from the child. Even though she might like that, right? That's not coming from the child. A gift that will come from a child is what, a card or arts and crafts, maybe even a flower or something like that. That's where then things aren't really confusing, because it's not like, oh, I'm actually trying to give you a sentimental gift from me with our relationship, right? I'm giving you a gift from our child, right? That we put together, we did arts and crafts or whatever, right? As far as the communication aspect, exactly touching on what you said, having a communication with the person that she's with and having communication with the person that you're with, right? Because at the end of the day, if neither one of them are okay with it, then you kind of gotta nix that. I think any reasonable person, any reasonable parent in that situation, understanding that the gift that you're giving within reason, being something from the child, like a colored paper or something like that, they would be okay with that, right? But you giving out uh, a long, lengthy note expressing how great of a mother they are to your child, I don't think that's really. I think that's kind of crossing boundaries, and then that's where the confusion comes, and that's where the respectful aspect and the unnecessary aspect kind of comes into play. It kind of blurs all those lines altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe with everything, man, this topic is situational, man. I mean,
I
like
knew it was
it's
coming. I knew
this
it was
topic
coming.
is so. I mean, and like in one point, like if you have a good relationship with your child's mother or vice versa, like and you guys already have that type of bond where you guys kind of like then it's kind of acceptable. But if you don't have a good relationship and you guys kind of like only talk like through the child, and then you just up and just want to give a random gift, like it's like you don't ever give me nothing any other day. Like you now you want to give me something just because it's Mother's Day. So I feel like we've overhyped Mother's Day to where the gift is always, is something that we feel like we should do. But if you don't give it now, it's like, okay, well, why didn't you? Like, or you don't care about them, about the mom that much. And it's like, if you care like about your child's mother, like you wouldn't wait for one day of the year to go give them a gift. Like, so if you don't already give them stuff like throughout, like as far as like nice gestures and stuff like that, then I feel like you shouldn't feel obligated to buy something on Mother's Day. But then that's what I'm saying. You also will come with that shame. It's like, okay, dang, you didn't even look out for, the child of your mother. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's kind of where I feel like it's like, and me being single, it's like I don't really have those issues. Like I just kind of look out for my mom and my sister.
Yeah.
But if I were in a relationship, and I did, have a kid, I wouldn't be expecting nothing necessarily like on Father's Day. Like, I mean, like I said, like I feel like us as in the internet and everybody, like we overhype this holiday. So where it's like either side, like if you don't give something, then it's like, okay, well, why didn't you? But then if you do, it's like, well, okay, well, what are you trying, you know what I mean? Like you trying to get back together? Like, what do you know what I mean? So it's like I said, it's all situational, man, like with the type of relationship and the communication you have.
Yeah.
Bruh, put yourself in the shoe though. So like you not even a dad right now. You just a boyfriend to your girlfriend who has a kid. Now, the guy brings you, the father brings a card like Happy Mother's Day. She didn't tell you. Are you upset? Okay, cool. She brings in flowers from the father. She didn't tell you. Are you upset?
Flowers is like,
It's
yeah,
levels to the
hey,
gift. You feel what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for sure,
It's
for sure.
levels to the gift. Like,
Yeah, for
do
sure.
some like is it okay? Do some things need a conversation, or do all things need a conversation?
No, that's the thing. Like some things would need a conversation because it just, like I said, it just depends on what the level of the gift is. Something coming from a child is one thing, but like if you know that she likes, I don't know, let's just say Cheesecake Factory or something like that. Yeah, a child could get, you could give that to your kid to give to the mom or whatever like that. But now you're kind of borderline like, this isn't really from the child. It's a Mother's Day gift. So these are children. And I'm just speaking on young children because we have young children. You know what I'm saying? These are young children who don't have jobs, right? So what's something that's like cheap and nice that they can have, again, because you're trying not to step on anybody's toes. At the end of the day, I don't want I don't want, like for instance, the mother of my oldest, right? We're never on good terms ever, right? To the point where she doesn't tell me happy birthday, she doesn't tell me happy Father's Day, and vice versa, right? That's just something we go with. But even if I were to do something for her, right, it wouldn't be anything that I know she likes. I would be like, hey, my daughter, she's 9, take her to the store. What do you want to get for your mom? Right? You can get her whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? What do you want to get her? And then she picks. Now that's different
Hmm.
because my kids are crazy. They'll buy like a bag of popcorn and some socks and be like, "Hey, mommy, this is for you," and that's
Right.
fine. You know what I'm saying? If that's what they want to get them, and
Right.
that makes sense because now it came from the child, right?
hmm
But you getting the child something, especially because you deal with people who have newborns or 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-olds who can't communicate that, can't understand that. Like, hey, baby, let's do something with your hands, or we do like hand paint on
hmm
something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that, a craft, because the mom is going to, they're going to they're going to admire that way more than you buying them anything anyway.
Right, for
Like you
sure.
said, it just depends on the gift.
hmm
So
And the
I think
person.
you coming from a point where it's just like, if it's coming from the child initially, but as long as it comes from the child, it's okay.
For sure, because the child's not going to buy expensive jewelry or like something that's like crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. So you're more so like, all right, kid, let's get something for you. Like, do you want to get something for your mom? It's never you as the father, like, yo, I should get her something because it's Mother's Day. Like, it don't got nothing to do with the child. Do you think that's crossing the line?
I feel like it just depends on what kind of relationship, and then that goes into communication portion, right? It goes with what kind of relationship you have with the mother, right? If you have because I tell Teresa all the time, I'm like, if we go our separate ways, I'm still going to get you something, right? But if it crosses a boundary with your new person, I wouldn't get you anything, right? But again, that's just the communication portion, because she could be cool with it, you could be cool with it, but then her new man is like, nah, I don't care what's coming in this house. If it's coming from him, I don't want to see it. And at the end of the day, if they have a real relationship and she respects that, you have no choice but to respect that. You know what I'm saying? But he's not going to, again, a reasonable person, he's not going to deny a gift from the child, but it has to be a gift from the child, right?
hmm
Right.
What you got? Is there something, I feel like, has anything like that happened with you?
Hell no.
Okay.
Hell no.
Just asking.
It usually don't come with conversations like,
Okay.
I know, like last year, I don't think I had to deal with that last year. This is something I probably would have to deal with this year, but for me, it'd probably just be a card, Happy Mother's Day, a little bit of cheese in there. Not like $10, $15. Go get a sandwich. So,
Yeah. Go get you a little
but like
something.
nothing crazy. Like I wouldn't go as far as like, yo, let me get this girl some flowers and stuff. Like, all right,
Yeah.
be respectful.
Yeah.
Be respectful, young man. Like I think a card, Happy Mother's Day. I wouldn't even sign it. Ain't no like Happy Mother's Day. You know where it came. I handed it to you.
Yeah, I handed it to you.
You know where it came. Happy Mother's
I'm
Day.
like, we gonna get a call, sign, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Throw
No,
some.
I get it.
I'd probably write Happy Mother's Day and her name, and that's it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
feel
yeah.
me? Like
Yeah.
put like some money in it, get some, you know what I mean? Like put it in the gas tank or something. I don't know.
Get a McDouble on me.
Right?
Put extra sauce on it.
Something
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
not like nah, I wouldn't do that. Jones,
Okay.
if you
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
shorty, and that happened, how would you feel?
Like if what happened with the shorty?
Like, so if you had a shorty who had a child that wasn't yours, because you don't have kids, and it was you in a position where your lady's coming in the crib with a gift from the father, how would you feel about it?
Yeah, like that's pretty much like what I was saying with Devontae is like it's all situational. Like if it's flowers, then it's like all right, like dang, like because those are your favorite flowers. Like he obviously know your favorite flowers. Like
Right.
what's the intent behind the gift? Like, but if it's like a card, it's like all right, cool. Like just being thoughtful. Like so like I said, I feel like everything is like depending on the relationship with the child mother and the child's father, whatever, and then the intent behind the gift,
Yeah.
pretty much
'Cause at
says
the end of the
everything you
day,
need to say.
you're still getting to know her. He already knows her. So he know what she like. He know what kind of flowers she like. He know what she like to go.
No, for
Yeah,
real
man.
though. Yeah. No, for real though. That's for real.
Nah, that's real. You know what I'm
No,
saying? Like
that's
that's a
real.
real thing. Like
That's
you
real.
playing catch up, buddy.
Yeah.
I've been here.
Word. Facts.
So how would you guys feel if the roles were reversed, right, for Father's Day? Right? If you are now with your new person, right? And then the mother of your child wants to get you a gift for Father's Day. But you guys are okay with it, right? But you haven't talked to uh your new person about it.
I feel like with Father's Day, I feel like the amount of gifts given, Mother's Day is probably killing the Father's Day gifts. So I feel
Yeah,
like
Father's
most
Day, you
people for
can skip
Father's Day, you
that.
probably ain't
Ain't
getting shit.
nobody
You
sleeping on
probably ain't getting
that.
nothing no way. So you probably half the time won't even have this conversation.
Right, right, right.
But like I
Exactly.
said, it depends on what the gift is. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, everything's situational these days, man. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you get something and it's like a little card and you know it's cool, like you may not have to, you know, go to your shorty and be like, hey, this is what it is, but you may just because y'all have that communication. But if she send you like a $50 gift card to, you know, the Hims package, it's like, all right, like what we
Well, we
like, you
on.
know what I mean? Like
We
what we
on.
doing?
$50
Like you know,
though.
I'm just
$50.
saying though, but like you know what I'm saying? Like
Hey,
it's
some people. Hey, some
why are
people
you
do
getting
spend
me
like
this
that.
gift? Like, you know,
Yeah.
but I
I
feel
mean,
like I
Nah.
would
$50 though.
Hey, some people do that, man. And the thing
I'm
about it
just
is too,
saying.
you got people out there real quick. You got people out there that like they live for drama. You know what I'm saying? They live for
this is true.
to push buttons.
Hmm.
So yeah, y'all might have been kikiing and ha-haing at first in the relationship, but now that y'all want y'all separate ways, they're like, yo, I don't have to ask nobody. Man, you know, women, they don't care. They
Hmm.
don't care. They don't care. But
No,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
not at all. Nah, if the roles were reversed, yeah, I think it's the same thing, bro. Like you gotta. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you 2 point of views. I'm gonna give you me last year, me this year. Me last year,
Okay.
I don't care. Let me get that. I need that. I don't care if it's a pair of
Yeah, yeah,
Jordans. You feel me? Let me get that.
yeah,
You feel what I'm saying? I
yeah.
need that. I know I've been a great dad. Give me that. Whatever it
Right, right,
is.
right.
Earrings,
Yeah,
neck, I'm wearing it. This is me.
yeah.
But like me now, that's me like thinking even if I had a shorty, you know what I mean? Like yeah, let me get all that. I deserve that. You feel me? For my girl too. Give me all of that.
You double dipping. Yeah, yeah. I need
Yeah,
that.
you feel
And
me? That's me
yeah,
last
yeah,
year. Like, yo, let me get that. But
yeah.
like me this year is like, nah, it's definitely levels to it. Like, nah, I really can't accept this. Like, you gave me some Jordans. Like, what's that about?
So what made
You
you
feel what I'm
change from
saying?
last year to this year like that? What made your
I
perspective
went to
change?
therapy.
Okay. Good, good. If you don't mind me asking, what do they say in therapy like that made you change that?
What did they say?
Well, yeah, like what was said? Like what did the
I'm
therapist
gonna give
say?
you. I'm
Like
gonna just give you a little. It was. So what I told them when I walked in was, dang, how I put it without like giving too much. Well, it was a whole lot of like to start this joint. It was a whole lot of like self reflecting. You feel me? Like it was a whole lot of look at yourself first, and then you know what I mean. Like you just dive into that. So now when you diving into you even starting back when you were a kid, and then you going like, you know what I'm saying? You going back when you was a kid, and then you like looking at the patterns and stuff like that, and then you start realizing like this is what I do. Like you just start becoming aware of who you
yeah,
are. Like this is what I
yeah,
do. This is what I've been doing. This is what works. This is most of for me. It was like this is what I think is working, but actually
right.
none of this is working.
Yeah, yeah.
So stop, look, realize, adjust.
Stop, look,
So
realize, and adjust. Okay.
it's like,
Yeah, yeah,
yo, if you want like a lot of I thought because I could just like stop doing certain things that my life was gonna change. But it was like just because I stopped doing it doesn't mean I stopped thinking about it.
yeah, yeah, for
Like
sure.
that was just a
Yeah,
mindset. It's like just because I'm not doing it, it's still like this is still my mindset. I'm just trying to like
yeah.
put it under the rug for a second. Like I ain't trying to deal with it right now. I'm just trying to put it in the back burner.
No, that's real,
And
and that's
without
real
but
deep.
it was
Yeah, and I'm glad you shared that because a lot of people think that therapy means that there's something just wrong with them, and at the end of the day, we all need therapy, right? That's I've done been in and out of therapy, my guys.
Hmm.
So, no, I definitely commend you for saying that because you are your own, you want to consult an expert, so you think you just gonna ask yourself, but you don't know what the heck is going on. You don't know what you're talking about. So you just running through life doing whatever you want to do. You need somebody to step in and tell you, hey, you're wrong. And you gotta take accountability. And it's not even more so about being wrong, right? I don't even know why I said that. It's not about
yeah. I
being
was about to
wrong.
say, yo, hold on
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah. It's not even about being wrong. Yeah. It's about, like you even said, having a different perspective on life in general, right? And just being able to reflect. And it's just we can go deep into therapy, but yeah, I'll just leave it there.
I get deep on that.
Yeah. That might be an episode 2 if you guys join. If you guys are liking all this content that you guys are getting right now for Unmuted, please go ahead and like, comment, and share down below. And yeah, we're just gonna keep getting into it. All
Subscribe
right.
too.
Oh, subscribe. Did I not say that? Y'all
It says
subscribe as well,
subscribe,
right?
man.
Yeah,
It's
that's
all
crazy.
good.
That was supposed to be the first thing I said. I just did that off the dome, so I was like, oh yeah, I already said it.
It was perfect
All
timing
right.
too.
Oh, perfect. All right. So let's go into our next topic. I'm going to share this video, you guys. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but we're going to try it.
Call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say. Nobody digging to you.
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
All right. So that was a video of a woman in Minnesota by the name of Shiloh Hendricks, right? After this incident took place, she took to the internet to create a Give, Send, Go. And if you guys don't know what that is, it's basically just a GoFundMe, right? To raise funds for the wrongdoing that fell upon her. In this situation, she played victim and raised over $600,000. So my question to you guys is, as a parent in this situation with the child who was truly the victim, how would you guys feel about the situation? Your baby was called a racial slur, and the person who harmed them basically got rich. So, oh, that's on me to answer it first. So, in watching this, I don't know if you guys know, I have 3 children, right? I have 2 girls and I have 1 boy, right? My boy is the youngest, and he also has autism, and he also happens to be 5 years old, right? So, I contemplated about this for a while. Of course, in originally hearing the video, as a parent, of course, I would have been outraged. I would have been mad. I would have been upset. My mindset would have been like, whatever happens to her, she has coming, right? But as I sat back and thought about it a bit more and did a little bit more research, I started to realize that what she did was egregious, right? It was disingenuous. It was ugly. All that good stuff. But at the same time, you have people on the internet who are coming for her life, her house, her child, all of that. They want it all. They want it all back in blood for this situation. So I'm kind of at a crossroads, right? In a sense. Whatever happens to her, but not to that extent. She shouldn't be fearful for her life. She shouldn't be physically harmed. Her house shouldn't be burned down. Her children shouldn't be hurt in any type of way over the actions of what the child's mother did. I don't know if it was a her or him, but what the child's mother did, or in any way, shape, or form, right? So you look at this at face value, and you're just like, she said the N-word, and then she goes and creates a GoFundMe. And as I'm looking at this, she raised $638,000 as this recording, right? That we just watched. And you're like, oh, that's crazy, right? She shouldn't get that money at all. She should, that should go to the family who she called the N-word. But you got to understand that now her name's out there. Everything's happening to her. She's not going to be able to get a job, which is her own doing, right? She's not going to be able to provide for her family, which is also her own doing. But she's also being threatened. Her life is being threatened. Does that warrant her getting the money that she's supposed to be getting? I don't agree with that. But then I try to self-reflect, right? Like what we were just talking about, and be like, hey, if this happened to me, I would never put myself in that situation. But if this happened to me and I wasn't able to get a job and I wasn't able to feed my children because of a situation that happened, and I'm fearful for my life, I would have to up and move. How? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to up and move now? And again, you suffer the consequences of what happened, but she shouldn't be fearful for her life. I think saying a bad word like that, even as ugly and disrespectful and crazy as it is, of course we see that racism is still blatant, still running rampant and stuff like that. She still shouldn't be fearful for her life. And I'll just leave it at that and let you guys go to the next. So
Yeah, definitely. I believe more or less like just the amount of people that donated showed you all you need to know about, racism still in America. Like, I feel like some of the money, most more of the times than not, wasn't going because, oh, she threatened for her life, so let me give her some money so she can what? Go buy some more food. It was more or less like a slap in the face to people who are prejudiced and racism, like, hey, yeah, I know that this is what it is, but hey, here's $20 just because, you had the balls to say it, or you were caught on the camera, like that's how I feel, but I'm behind the computer, so let me throw you some money because it's like that's really truly how I feel. And it just showed you, how sad America is and how we've never really moved on, and just the hate and the prejudice that still runs deep. I don't know if it's, the roots of the family or whatever it is, but like hate and racism like that, you can't teach that. It's like it's just you either it's in you or it's not. And some people really try to cover it up, and they may really not like you deep down.
Yeah.
But just the amount of money that she raised just shows you all you need to know as far as how many people are out there that they know the reason of why she's raising the money. Well, maybe not, maybe because she may have covered up and saying, well, she's being threatened and stuff like that. But just from the comments that I was reading on that video, like the racism prejudice is still, it still runs heavy, and it's just sad. It's just like, we can't choose how we come out. It's just like, and it's just sad because it's like, that word gets thrown around, and and there's nothing really you can do about it. We become to like kind of live with it. Like it doesn't really hurt me, as much, as it may, hurt my child kind of down the road, when she kind of asks, what was the situation about? Like, why would they, this, that, and the fourth? And it's like, how do you tell your kid, like, hey, she's an adult, she still, can't get past, looking between white and black. So it's like, it's just sad that, the amount of money she raised, like I said, it's just teach you everything you need to know about, what we still have to live with these days.
So I'm gonna agree with what both of y'all said. I don't think she deserves any of that money, right? For what she said. I also don't feel like she deserves any hurt from that. But the money that she's raising, like Brandon said, like what kind of people it's coming from. Does she
Yeah.
deserve it? Nah. But like it's people in the background like, yo, big ups to you. Yo, I'm so glad it was you and not me. I mean, I was just so glad it was you. I wish it was me. Let me get you this money for being in the position I always wanted to be in. And it's like, yo, like watch it. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Like, and then reading them comments on the video, I'm like, nah, bro. Like they really feeling like they suppressed right now. They really feeling like they was, slave for 400 years. Like, yo, we can't say what we used to say. We can't do what we used to do. And it's like, yo, now that like, nah, she don't deserve to be threatened and stuff like that. But you got to think like when you young black in America growing up and learning about all this stuff, especially today, you'll ask any young brother, any young sister, they're gonna be like, yo, I ain't my ancestors. The moment you disrespect me, I'm pouncing. You know what I'm saying? And that's not everybody. That's just like, you also gotta be self-aware that everybody not you. Everybody not gonna, think like you think. And it's gonna be a lot more people that think like, yo, she deserves the pain and the suffering and stuff like that. It's gonna be more people thinking like that. There's gonna be more people thinking like, nah, she don't really deserve it, like to be hurt or anything like that. Like it's
Yeah.
just, it ain't. I personally, man, like this is a sad situation because it's like a young kid. That's what kids do, bro. That's what
Yeah,
kids do. Kids getting this stuff.
and it's funny you say that because my son, again, is 5 and he has autism. And he has level 2 autism. So just for, I guess, a down and dirty of it, he has the mindset of a 2.5, 3-year old, right? Super smart though, right? He was reading before my daughter was reading, which is crazy. But anyways, if he sees something in your hand, again, as a 2 or 3-year old, he's going to just take it. Or if he sees a toy in a bag, he's going to grab it and he's going to go off with it, not trying to do any harm or anything. My son, we were at the trampoline, one of these trampoline places around here. And there was my son, he's addicted to like tablets and phones and stuff. Little Asian guy sitting on his phone, just sitting on his phone, watching his kids. My son went, took the phone out of his hand, sat in the guy's lap, and was trying to get on his phone. You know what I'm saying? And it's I have to apologize. Like, he has autism. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
the guy wasn't, he was just like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. He's like, he
Yeah.
can have it. I'm like, no, he can't. But yeah, kids are going to be kids. And one other thing
Yeah.
I wanted to say too, I don't know if you guys are kind of following that Carmelo Anthony situation, where he had stabbed a
Yeah, yeah,
white
yeah. I heard
yeah,
about that.
a white guy in the heart. Yeah, and killed him, right? Um and basically the black community raised over $500,000 for him. So the argument is, why is it that that's okay, but what she did isn't okay? And the difference in that is that black people raised $500,000 for Carmelo Anthony for his legal fees and stuff like that, for legal representation, right? Not because we said what he did was right by any stretch of the imagination. He didn't have any legal representation, or he couldn't afford legal representation. This is people who are saying, just like you guys had saw in the comments, I wish it was me. I wish I was in that situation. These are people who are promoting racism, who are, rewarding it. That's what I was going to say. Rewarding racism. You know what I'm saying? And that's a stark difference. Like, again, you guys saw that was it's just 600. Well, shoot, last thing I saw was over 700,000, right? And the numbers just keep going before it was taken down. But um, over $700,000 worth of racism already. You know what I'm
Already.
saying? And it's just one of the things where it's like it's of course it's a sad situation to see. Um, and I ain't trying to overtalk it, but even at the same situation, you have people who say that, you know, white people can't say racial slurs, but any other race can say racial slurs and nothing happens, right? And actually, I want to get you guys thoughts on that. How do you guys feel about that? I know I'm just like throwing a curveball at you guys, but how do you guys feel about why people aren't able to say the N word or racial slurs because they're held to a way higher standard versus us being able to say something, or any other race being able to say racial slurs and not really be condemned for it? What did you guys take on that?
Yeah, I think it's more or less like the context of what you're using it. It's like if you're upset and you're using the hard R, and it's like, all right, it's gonna be taken the wrong way. But it's like if you're like one of the homies and you're just kind of like kicking the word around, and you got your Chinese guy, and he's kind of like with the crew, like I don't necessarily, I'm not really too hurt by words, but it's like I said, it's all in the context of what you're saying. And like if you're a hard R and you're mad at me, then it's like, all right, like you're trying to like, disrespect me or whatever. But if you're just we're kicking it, we're having a good time, and you just kind of like we're just kicking the word around, and then that's a different thing. But I think your white people are probably held to that standard just because of slavery. So anytime the word is used from coming from them, it can kind of be like, all right, like are you trying to be funny, or are you like, what I mean? It's like, but if it's since, Asians and any other or, racial group has never had people in slavery, then when it comes from them, it's like, well, there's no context behind it because it's like you're not trying to say anything, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like, it's one of those type of things.
Nope.
No.
Nope. None of that. I don't want to hear it. You ain't melanin. I don't want to hear it. But I've heard it amongst white people saying it to white people. They've called themselves the N word. I thought that was the most interesting thing ever. Like, when did you think you could be that too? Though, they try to water it down and be like, yo, it's just me, like you ignorant and yada yada yada. Nah, brother, that's a racial slur. That word was for my people to be like, you're really low, like you ain't nothing but this low word, this low feeling. So no, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from no. I'm questioning it. If I hear an Asian person saying it, like, yo, what's up? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Like, you get the
So
green
I
light.
guess
I get what you saying, B. I get what you saying, 110%. I get what you saying, but me, nope, not going for it. I don't want to hear it.
yeah, no, for
I don't
sure.
want to hear it. I'm
And
cutthroat about that.
and and my thing is, what about like I guess, let me rephrase it, the policing of it. So like, we can say, and I say we, right? Because I don't. People be like, "Oh, I want to say it too," but I don't. in my entire life, I don't think I've ever said a racial slur demeaning any other race at all. It's not in my vocabulary, right? And that's real, right? So my I guess my initial question is just the policing of it, because there are, and I know we all know them, but there are a lot of black people who don't care, right? And I'll just say, just we're just talking about black people right now, but that don't care about any of that. They'll call white person cracker or whatever racial slurs there are. That's the only one I know. You know what I'm saying? And nothing happens about that, right? Nobody's video recording them or anything like that. But that still stings other races because they understand the connotation behind it, right? Even though we don't see it as the N word, right? We don't hold it in the same regards as the N word, right? Why are we not policing black people just as heavily, right? And that's more or less my question. Um, and I guess I would just answer for myself. I mean, because it doesn't hold the same weight, of course, right? It doesn't hold the same weight as the N word. Um, and I don't know, because I asked this question and now I'm kind of like thinking about it as I'm talking, right? But it's just one of them things where it's like, if you want there to be change, you have to be that change as well, or you will succumb and be the thing that you despise, right? So if you don't want racism, but you are, and I've had this mindset for a long time, right? And not just about racism, just about a lot of things. But if you have a mindset that you want change and you don't want there to be racism, you can't then go and be racist. You can't then go and be, if you don't want there to be abuse, you can't then go and be an abuser to be like, oh, an eye for an eye. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know if you guys want to elaborate on that anymore, but that's kind of what I had.
I just don't feel like my people can do no wrong, brother. I
That's how you
just feel
feel?
I just feel like my people can do no wrong.
Yeah.
But I also I don't, I'm not a racial slur kind of person. Like I don't go outside of my race to say cracker or whatever the racial slur is that other people use towards each other and stuff like that. Like I ain't going outside of the N word for my fellow, like y'all two. You know what I mean? Like y'all my guys. Simply put, y'all my guys. So like, but like if I'm with a female and she's black, I would never call her that ever. To me, that's disrespectful. I would never call her that ever. It's disrespectful to me. Like I wouldn't call that, but I also wouldn't call somebody white that either. That I don't call it what? Yeah, you're wild. And I try not to even, huh?
No, you just kind of lagged out a little bit.
Oh yeah. So like, I try not to even say the N word around white people. I just, I usually just try to keep it in the community, but just like the other side of it is like, I don't want to hear it on the outside either. If I'm doing my best to keep it in the community with my men, with my brothers and stuff like that, with other black men, just keep it in that community. Just that. Just black men can only say this to black men. That's where I'm at with it. Outside of it, I don't want to hear it. Like, I even think it's disrespectful if a female call me that. Don't call me that, because I didn't call you the B word, so don't call me that. That's where I'm at with it. Like, I didn't call you, because you opening a whole lot of doors right now.
Yeah. And then that's, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like the standard I have with that word and how I go about it. I think it's just how you go about it, man.
Yeah, I feel like with our music these days, it becomes more normalized because you see a lot of popular songs that have it in there, and it's like if someone's singing a song and like they love this song and it kind of pops up like in the song, but they know they're not supposed to say it, but they always hit the pause before, and that one day they hit it. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like the word is so normalized these days. It's like like I said, it's always the intent behind it. If it's a hatred type of thing, then that. But like I have like I have a lot of Mexican like friends and stuff like that. I remember one day I was joking around and we were kind of like playing with the racial type of thing, and the only thing I could think of was calling them like a wetback, and that was like the worst thing that I could call him. It was
You're
only because I
wild.
asked him, yeah, and I asked him, I was like, what is the degree? He was like, that's like me calling you the N word. So it was like I can see what Devontae's saying is like we shouldn't be the only ones that aren't allowed to, but it's like there's some words that do cut deep, just like the N word. But like I said, I feel like the N word is the most powerful, like I said, because it's so normalized in the music and just the amount of years that, we were into slavery and stuff like that. So, you know,
Yeah. No, that's deep because I don't think I mean I could probably count on my hands the amount of time I've heard the Mexican slur from anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's just not said, right?
mhm.
Um, of course, like I said, with black people to white people, depending on what it is, there are, and I'll just speak from my experience, there are black people who are um racist towards white people. It just doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? And it's one of the things where it's like, just because I understand does not mean that I agree. Hear me out, right? I do like to see from different perspectives, and I understand where people are coming from. I don't agree with it by any stretch of the imagination, but I understand the outcry of, you guys can say whatever, you guys can treat us however, or say however you want to say, right? But the moment that we do, it's an issue. And it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it is what it is, right? I was watching a Pierce Morgan interview today. Do you guys know who Pierce Morgan is? I'll send it to you guys maybe.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but he's a British commentator, whatever. Anyways, basically he was on a panel talking about this. Getting back to what we're talking about, he was on a panel talking about the Shiloh Hendrix situation, and it was him, Myron. Myron was one of the people from Fresh and Fit podcast. Had you guys ever seen that? Fresh and Fit podcast. Okay, so he's pretty much he's black. He's crazy. Anyways, and then there were three other panelists, right? A black guy and two white women. And I'm sorry I don't know their names off the top of my head, but I'm saying that to say one of the white women on the panel was saying how she didn't really see why this is such a big issue and why everything is so bad. So much so that she doubled down and said that she says the N word all the time. So much so that she tripled down and she said that she is also racist on live TV. Yeah, it was madness. I gotta send it to you guys, all right? And I might, I
Yo,
might, I might insert a clip into our recording, but it was so, I want to say unhinged, but that's not even the word I want to say. It was just so like being desensitized to the situation at hand, right? Like, let's just get back to the point.
right,
A woman called a child, a black child, the N word. It could have been a white child and she was calling him a B word or cussing him out or something like that. Like, that's the equivalent of it. Like, you are a nasty human being at the end of the day, right? And now you're trying to be like, oh yeah, but white people have been oppressed, and that might be true, right? We're not having that debate. We're talking about this right here,
right,
all right?
right.
What's going on here? So for her to come out of the box like that so comfortably, and for all these people to donate and say what they said so comfortably, regardless of whether they thought they were going to be seen or not, it's just one of the things where it's like there are people who still think that racism just doesn't exist, right? It's just the past. Let's even talk about sinners, like we were just talking about. That took place in 1930. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah,
that was less than 100 years ago, right? Less than 100 years ago.
Right
And
now,
here we
yeah.
are. You know what I'm saying? Right now. And they were segregated, and they were Ku Klux Klan just running around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't long ago at all. Like, it, I digress. All right, but anyways.
Yeah. You got people, grandparents that grew up in that era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
and
For sure.
sometimes that's just taught down, like it's in the roots. Like you see, your grandparents have always been that way. Your parents always been that way. It's like it's human nature to be that way. Like, and I'm not saying that, that gives them a pass, but it's like it just sucks that the roots still carry some type of weight.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was the biggest thing with the child, that they were saying the child needs to be taken away because they don't want the child growing up in a situation like that. And as bad as it sounds, right? I don't feel like that makes sense, right? I don't feel like, even though, yeah, it is bad, it is terrible, she might be able to see through that as she gets older and realize black people aren't bad. She might have some black friends, or he or she, whoever it is, right? Um, but that could be a very loving home besides her saying the N-word, and then y'all taking her from there and putting her somewhere else. That I don't agree with, right? There's a lot of I don't agree with, but yeah, that's that. Y'all got anything else y'all want to say?
Hell yeah. As long as, I mean, heck yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. Y'all about to say
It's so, I mean, like, bro, as long as stuff like that, as long as racism and stuff's still alive, and I know I'm not one to be like, I don't go as hard with it. Like, if I know white people don't like me, I'm just like, whatever, like, cool. Like, I know that. I'm not about to, it's not about to be World War III over that, no. But I'm always going to understand and feel why people of my color, my people, feel the way they do. When things like take away her kid, like, even though I don't agree with it, like you said, bro, I definitely understand it. I get that. Like, take her kid away, like, I get why you saying that. Take her stuff.
yeah.
Like, I get it, bro. I understand, bro. I know you hurting. And that's how you express yourself. I'm never going to be like, you shouldn't express yourself like that. I ain't never going to go against my people ever. Like, ever. Like, I get it. I wouldn't do it. Me personally, like, I ain't got to, I'm too lazy to do stuff like that. But, like, I understand it for sure. I get that.
Yeah. Final words, anything, B?
I mean, everyone deserves a second chance. But, you got to be aware of what's going on. And like I said, if that came out naturally when you're upset, then that's probably pretty much how you feel. Like you gonna, the drunk truth or whatever like that. Or if when you're mad and you start, oh, you're this, that, and the fourth, like that's really true how you feel. Like, if your soul didn't tell you that, you wouldn't just come out and say that. So, I mean, like I said, the other stuff that's coming back with it, like her backlash, it kind of sucks, but it's like you kind of put yourself in that situation. So it's kind of like there's not really much we can do for you. Like people are gonna act how they act, but it's more or less like a life lesson. Like for everyone out there, it's like if you're caught on camera being racist or being prejudiced, the internet will not take it lightly, and they will do whatever to make you feel the way you probably made somebody feel in that situation. And it's just like it's just one of those things where it's just like there's nothing that we can do for you at this point. It's like you acted the way you acted. Go ahead and let the internet act the way they're going to act, and they're going to go 10 times as hard as what you probably did in the video. Like everyone said, taking her kid away, burn the house down. Like she probably already is not getting the money, so it's like
Bro.
they're going crazy. So it's like we can't save you no more.
Take her out.
We can't save you no more.
And I can go off on this for forever, but the last thing I will say is just the context of the video. People are saying that they haven't heard anything from the parents. How do they know that the child is only 5 years old? Like that even matters, right? It's a child, regardless, and all that stuff, right? So, I mean, we weren't there. We do have a video. Shout out to, I think the guy's name is Omar. I think that might be his last name. But for doing the video and shining a light, because that's another big thing too. I mean, in anything that you do, is having having stuff recorded, right? Having things recorded, because people would just be like, oh no, it didn't happen like that, but you got hard evidence, right? And that's definitely a topic for a discussion for another topic for sure, that one. But all right, you guys, this is Unmuted. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you guys have made it this far, please like, subscribe, comment down below, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Peace.